Like every month, Zenphi continues to add actions to our existing repertoire. This month, we have released a set of new actions that enable you to be able to interact with Microsoft Excel. Keep in mind that these actions work with Microsoft Business or 365 accounts only, as Microsoft personal accounts are not yet supported. This means that Excel files and workbooks must be stored in a OneDrive Business or SharePoint account. To be able to see all of these different actions we've added, remember that everything is organized by category, so you can either use a search bar or you can scroll down until you find Excel, and then you'll be able to see all the different actions that we have so far. The first action that we have here is called Add Row. For all of these, you're going to need your OneDrive Business connection, so click on the plus icon to be able to set up a new connection to grant Zenphi permission to be able to access your account. You're going to be able to choose where you want to access the file. It can either be on auto, you can choose OneDrive mode or SharePoint mode. If you want to read that information, you can pause this video to continue reading. You're going to be able to select the file ID for all of these actions. You can either use the token picker to be able to choose that information dynamically from somewhere in your flow, or you can click on this icon here to select directly from your OneDrive. So let's say I want to select this one. I can click on select. I can choose from the different sheet names. So I can choose either this one or this one. Then you can click done. You're able to select a certain table if you have that, and if you want to add to a specific row. You can load the headers and then indicate wherever you want to insert information in each one of the columns. We then have Create Sheet. What this is going to allow you to do is be able to create a sheet inside of a pre-existing book. So all you have to do is indicate the sheet name, so you can put new sheet, for example, or you can use dynamic information. Then you can choose if it should be hidden or visible, and you can even add the index if you don't want to add it to the end. And now if you want to add a table in a specific Excel sheet, what you would do is use the Create Table action. First, you'll need to indicate the file ID as well as the sheet name where you want to add the table. And then you're going to need to add the table location. So this is going to be the specific range within the Excel sheet where the table will be created. So you need to choose the start column as well as the start row. And same thing with the end column and end row. Then if you want to delete any rows in a specific sheet, you would use our delete rows action. This is going to allow you to be able to delete a single row or even a range of rows. So all you have to do is again indicate the information for the specific sheet, and then you're going to need to indicate the row number that you want to remove or the row numbers if you're deleting a range. Now let's say that you want to retrieve information from a certain number of rows in a sheet. You would use the list rows action. So after you have indicated the information for the sheet, you can select if you want to retrieve information from tables, and then you're able to choose if you want just a range of rows or all of the rows. You can choose if there's headers, and then if we go to the output, it's going to return not only the number of rows returned, but the information for each one of the columns in all of the rows that you have chosen. Now if you want to return information for all of the sheets within a selected workbook, what you can do is use list sheets. All you have to do is choose the file ID. For example, I can click here. After you've selected, if you go to the output, you're going to be able to see the ID for each sheet, the name of the sheet, and then the position where it's located, as well as if it's visible, hidden, or very hidden. To be able to list the tables inside of a sheet, all you have to do is set up your connection, indicate the file ID, and then it's going to return all of the information for the tables. So you're going to have a collection of all of the different tables. You're going to be able to see the name of the table, the different headers, the styles. So if any of that information is needed, you can retrieve it using this. Now our next two actions are very similar. We have lookup row, which is going to allow you to be able to look up a specific row. So you can enable a search column to be able to search a specific value, maybe an email, a name, etc. After you've indicated the information for the sheet, you can add the search information at the bottom. You can choose if you want to match case, match the entire cell, use regex, and then you can choose what columns you want to retrieve once it has found that specific row. You'll be able to see all of that information in the output, so it would have all of the different columns that you indicate down at the bottom. Now, similar to the previous one, we have lookup rows. However, this one is going to return more than one row, so it really depends on what your needs are. So similar to the previous one, we're going to also see the search column, the search value, and all the different parameters as well. The only difference here is it's going to return a collection of rows that match this criteria. You'll also be able to see the number of rows that were returned from that sheet as well. And that would be everything. That's a really quick overview into all of our different Excel actions. If you want to be the first to be notified whenever we drop new actions, make sure you join our community portal. There we update whenever we have our monthly releases, which is always at the beginning of each month. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section, and we'll see you guys next time.